Let's do it.
Happy Monday, everyone. Happy beginning of the week. And more importantly, happy Bobby's Day Eve. That's right. Bobby's birthday is tomorrow. So this is the if you were me and I was my mom, I'd be like, it's the last day you're ever gonna be, and whatever the fuck age it was. What are you gonna do? It's like, hope this never fucking happens again.
Yeah.
Year with a different age.
Just pray for the sweet release that could be Death Mother.
I told Mom, I look at the presents, and neither one of them looks like a stool and rope wrapped up. Like, why? I told you what I wanted. It's not here. Good morning, Kish. How are you, sir?
Everybody None of these are Lindsay Lohan, Mom. I can tell by the packaging. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, Mom. Yeah, you know what I wanted? I wanted to not have my next birthday before Charlotte the Stingray had her kids. But still, nothing. No fucking kids. I don't think that thing's ever having kids. It's nuts. By the way, to everyone who's been joining the Patreon and checking out the Patreon and watching all the videos this weekend, we got a bunch of views this week. People were really sharing some stuff, and it was nice to see a lot of comments and things like that. People are jumping on. I did restructure the Patreon a little bit, so if you are a Patreon member and you haven't looked at what now, the tiers have names that work for us now, Bobby. We have POS. If you're a $3 one, you're a piece of shit. You know what I mean? So that's easy. Whatever. $10 one, you are the Florida Special Olympics Hall of Fame. And for that, we promise one of the perks is that we will, if you join that one, we will not ever nominate you to the Florida Special Olympics Hall of Fame. If you pay that amount, if you pay $10, no nomination ever. No matter how mad we may get, we will not put you in. And then for $20, it's the WNBA fan club. And
shit, that's my favorite tier.
Yes. Yeah.
In that one,
but basically, you get
me out like I'm a woman.
You get all the shows we put. Looking at it, we are now putting out 6 shows in some ways, 6 things of content a week on all our various channels and things like that. So you get all the shows except for one. I mean, on the tier, you get all the shows. So you get the POS Morning shows as soon as we're done recording them here. You can also watch them on YouTube. You get the exclusive POS Morning show on Tuesdays that no one else gets to watch live. You get the Thursday Thoughts show, and you get the replay of the 8 p.m. show. Now, on the second tier, the $10 one, you can also, anytime you want, be on one of the shows. If you want to be on a POS Morning, a Thursday Thoughts, whatever it is, and you're a $10 tier member, you let us know and go, hey, I'd like to sit in next Monday, whatever. You're on. You're on the show as long as you're a $10 tier member. For $20 tier member, you'll get all that stuff as well. Plus, you can present a POS story. Your choice. It can be from your life, whatever you want to do on any show you want. You just pick it. You can read just one from the news, one for your own life. You can you make one about us. We don't care. You can be on it. And then also, I don't know who would want this, but if you wanted, you could have a monthly meet and greet video time with me and Bobby. We'll choose the day and time, but on here we'll do like a meet and greet video thing where you can just bust balls, ask questions, joke around with us or whatever, or just tell us we're dumb. Whatever you want to do. But that's if you pay $20. But so I don't know if anyone's gonna want those things, but there you go. But basically I want to make sure everyone who joins, no matter what the money is, we like the support. We appreciate you guys giving us more money when you can. But if you only have $3 to give a month, we appreciate that. You're gonna get basically everything, you know what I mean, except for being on the show. Unless you're nice, then we'll probably still put you on the show.
Yeah, there's a good chance we'll put you on if you're nice and you can't afford it too. Like it's not a super.
These are I just wanted to have some kind of more structure in it than what I had before. So there it is. But
I like the structure. I also like that our Patreon is more like if you pay more, you can do things related to the show, not you get a ton more. If that makes sense. Like you could pretty much for $3 get everything. If you want to give more, it's because you want to be involved with the show, and I think that's really cool.
That to me, that's what I want. I wanted this to be like a community thing. I like that. I love our chat. I love when people are in here. Speaking of the chat, I tried to figure it out all weekend.
So Kish, start making some Kool-Aid.
Nice. I tried to check out the video, the whole thing about V. What I'm looking at is that he should be able to get back in. There shouldn't be any issue. I had to go to this thing you go on YouTube. You have to go into this for everybody, but then we'll start the show. You go into YouTube, like creator or studio, whatever. There's a thing called community. In that community part, there is supposed to be the list of people I have banned or blocked from chat. Nothing's there. So he was just removed from that one. His name's not there. So he should be there. I don't know his channel name. So Bobby, if you know the channel, I know his name is V, but the channel name, if you know that off air, If you let me know, I can go to his page and see if he is and then try to undo it from there. But I don't know his name.
Okay, I will definitely try to see what I can do.
Yeah, if we can't, no big deal. But I want to make sure he's on there. But if not, whatever, it's fine.
And if
But
Jim
how was
Grindle
your
knows,
weekend?
he can tell you.
That's all.
My weekend was very good. How was yours?
It was fun. It was a fun weekend. Saturday, I got that. My son's been back from college, so we went out to have a lunch.
That's
He's
nice.
got long flowing hair now. He's got the ultimate 18-year-old college kid. I'll tell you right now, he's been working out and playing rugby and eating well and all that. The kid's in serious shape. I was like, God damn it! Even when I was like in good athlete shape, I wasn't. He's just like a kind of jacked, lean 18-year-old kid who just smokes weed and likes it works hard. I'm like, oh man, these are none of the things I ever was. This is great. But we got to hang out for a little bit. Yesterday, Sunday, I did a private event at a country club in Monroe, Connecticut, nice little fancy area, for like 75, 80 guys. Like 80 people, but like 76 guys, 4 women. And the men made it clear, like, don't worry, they're not like women. They're almost like people. Like one guy said that to me, and I was like, great. So I like this country club. But
sir, you would like my friend Bobby Tamburo a lot. You and him would have a lot of similar opinions.
It's like, sir, did you ever have sex with a woman in Pennsylvania a long time ago? I think your real son is floating out there somewhere. But but it was a roast for this guy who used to be a cop. And dude, he was not just cop. He was Ice-T. Like he was doing, special. He arrested tons of child molesters, which I was like, wait, why are there tons? Everybody laughed. I was like, fuck, why were you so busy? Like, what the hell's going on? But super fun guy. He stopped doing that because he hurt his back, and he was working in basically didn't need to work, but worked at the pro shop of the place just to be around golf all the time. So he knew everyone there so much. Like it was a nice outpour. He's moving to South Carolina because he's a big Trump guy. So I was like, do you know Anthony Cumia? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, you don't get to meet him at your meetings. Yeah, your rallies, you'll see him. Oh, nice. What's up, Keller? How are you, sir?
Hey, long time no talk, Keller.
But so it was real fun. They were quick holds barred. They didn't give a shit. Go ahead.
How did he hurt his back arresting pedophiles? Was he the decoy?
No, he has to bend down to pick up the kids.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if he was the one like posing and then he just took it too far and they blew his back out literally.
I go, did you ever see a kid and be like, I get it. This kid needs to get molested. Everybody was laughing. No, dude, they were nuts. Like this guy, Billy, who was like in charge of the pro shop, like kind of his boss, but younger. Like if you had to make a golfer for like a wacky sitcom or something like that, a guy who was shorter, but like cocky, but also just like crazy and stuff, it would be this guy. And he goes, you want to see a picture of one of the kids he saved? And on his phone, he pulls up a Photoshop picture of a baby with a huge penis. And I'm like, all right.
Jesus Christ, no, sir.
Oh, dude. And I every time I would make a joke like that, I really just did an interaction thing. I was just like, all right, you dude with the walrus mustache, what do you like about Dave? And he would say some crazy shit about Dave. And then everybody would jump off that. Then I go back. They loved it. I did like 40 minutes of just that. And it was and also they had a huge first thing, big steak dinner for everybody for lunch, whatever. But we're saying wild shit. And every time I would say something insane, like the molester thing, whatever, or they would yell that stuff. Because at one point he used to hit on people's wives. He's married. I was like, oh, it's just Dave. He hits on wives. And he goes, I offered that guy. And his wife was sitting right there. He goes, you look at her. And she was a very attractive lady. And he goes, I offered her husband, Chris, my car. I said, I'd sell my car just to bang her for a half hour. And I go, why don't you're about to leave. Why don't you just do it now? And he goes, at this point in my life, I'm 3 pumps and an apology. That's it. And I was like, dude, that might be the name of my next album. And then I said, where'd you learn that saying from your job as a child molester cop?
Oh, God.
Dude, and then when everybody started like laughing, I'd be like, it's 3 p.m.
What are we doing?
How nuts this is. Yeah, it's so. But they were really cool. The owners were awesome. It was a good time. And then I came home and then I grilled more steak. So I had steak for lunch and steak for dinner. And that's a big Sunday. I was the Knicks lost, but I was happy because I had steaks.
I mean, I felt bad because the Knicks lost, and I kind of called that McConnell was going to be the reason they got iced, and it happened. So I didn't want to curse the Knicks. I just saw it happening. Maybe if I could see it, Thibodeau could have. Who knows? But I will ask you this.
Thibodeau has to turn to you to put you on the bench because there's nobody left. Like, what the fuck? What were they supposed to do? They were so depleted. You know what I mean?
I can promise you Halliburton would have scored as many points as he did if they put me in the game. Now, would I have gone down fighting? Would I have gone down fighting? Yeah, I would have. We would have been thrown out. I would have used the word you're not supposed to use anymore, Pat, just to get him to go after me. But you know what? He wouldn't have been in the game anymore. And I'm a gamesman. All right, I know my role. My role is to get Halliburton thrown out because I called him a name. But I do want to ask you this. He would be a tough one. He'd be like, I'm not even a fool.
Yeah, he'd be like, I use that word too, dude.
They get mad when I use it. Kendrick Lamar made a whole diss track where he's like, he don't want you to use that no more, Tyrese Halliburton.
He seems like a gentleman where he'd be like, and a happy N-word to you as well, sir.
You mentioned your
and
sons,
also with you.
and with our spirits. You mentioned your son's long flowing hair. Now, you and I both are bald men. Yes. You embrace it more than I do. Do you think that's why old people are always yelling at young kids to get a goddamn haircut? Because it's just dawning on me now that's why my dad, when I was like in 8th grade, was like, you can't have a fucking afro. It's because he literally couldn't have an afro.
Couldn't have an afro. I would think so. But that's why I make sure I don't say that. I'm like, I always go, I'm just jealous. I wish I could do that now. Why? Enjoy it. Yeah. I always say enjoy it because I had hair when I played rugby enough to do something. I didn't grow as long as him, but I definitely could grow hair, no problem. And I was around that age, and I'm like, I couldn't grow. It'll start to grow on the sides here and in the back, but nothing here at all. Yeah, I wouldn't even know what it looked like. I'd never let it happen. I've been shaving my head probably right around 30, maybe like 27, 28.
Wow, lucky you.
Yeah, like 20 something years of shaving my head.
Okay,
that's how bad I knew it was already. Like the receding hairline was already coming strong. Like 25, 26.
You had 27, 28 years worth of good hair.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. If I was a baby, maybe I had cornrows or some shit. I don't know, but you have any shows or anything?
I woke up, no shows this weekend. I did watch. You ever see the King of Comedy?
Yeah, long time ago.
I think we should do that.
Do what?
Kidnap a late night talk show host and then do his show and then kill it. Not kill him, kill the show.
Oh, I don't. Who are we going to kidnap? Who would it be?
I mean, when Eastside Dave and I were actually seriously talking about this, I said Fallon's kind of a bitch ass. Like, I think if you got Jimmy drunk enough, he's not going to fight back, and you could convince him that he was having a good time and he wouldn't press charges.
I don't think so, Bobby. I think he would definitely. He'd sing a song about it, which would be annoying as shit. But he'd sing a song about how you stole him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You'd kill him because of the song.
Just so you know, I'm joking because I saw a moment in your eyes where it flashed like, do I have to seriously tell Bobby we can't kidnap a late night talk show host?
Well, when you start things with, when I was seriously discussing this with Eastside Dave, that's one of the scariest sentences you could say because Eastside Dave likes attention. So he's like, you know what? We can do as long as Bobby and Big A are going to take the rap.
No, it'd be Bobo. By the way, make sure you're subscribed to the Patreon in case you want to see Tard Tuesday this week.
Tard Tuesday back at 8
for Tard Tuesday. It may be Pat and two Tards, but
you might be. So Tuesday 8 p.m. Subscribe for that, but you're gonna see. You can also watch it live here on the YouTube at 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Yeah, Bobby, do we know yet on your birthday schedule? What do you want to do?
We don't know that yet. We'll announce it tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, I'll be on the Patreon myself, at least. I just like to know Bobby a little bit advanced because I might have a guest host on with me if you're not going to be there. So
I'll be there in the morning. I'll be there for the morning show. I don't know about the evening 100%.
Oh yeah, and then maybe we'll either do Tard Tuesday or we can move it to another day of the week if you want to be on the evening one. If not, I can do someone else. We'll figure that out. Wonderful. Do you have any stories, Bobby, you want to start off with?
I do, just because it seems like the world's been talking about this one this morning. Did you hear about the Kobe Bryant of Pakistan?
Well, I haven't seen it written as that, but yeah, I did see a leader of Pakistan died in a helicopter crash, if that's what you mean.
That is exactly what I mean. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, Supreme Leader's protege, dies at 63 in a helicopter crash. So, in the United Arab Emirates, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, a hardline protege of the country's supreme leader who helped oversee the mass executions of thousands in 1988, and later led the country as its enriched uranium near weapons grade level. Wait, sorry, let's run that back. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi.
I wish you were in a helicopter right now.
So do I. God damn, these are hard to read. So basically, this dude who was the protege, he oversaw the mass executions of thousands in 88 and led the country as it enriched uranium into nuclear grade war level weapons. Launched a major attack on Israel. He died in a helicopter crash. Razi's death, along with the foreign minister and other officials in a helicopter crash Sunday in northwestern Iran, came as Iran struggles with international dissent, its relations with the wider world. So yeah, basically,
Water world.
No, they don't have water in that world.
It's I thought you said oil world. Oh,
I don't think.
I was like, holy shit! Kevin Costner attacked this guy's helicopter.
Maybe. I'm not ruling him out yet. They don't really know who did it. I didn't think Costner was at the top of the list, but who's the piece of shit in this story, Pat? Is it anyone who cares that the 63-year-old protege died in a helicopter crash? Like, at what age do you stop becoming a protege and it's just could have been? Is it the fact? Is it people who are celebrating a man's death? Yeah, he may not have liked him politically, and he may have mass executed thousands of people, but I'm sure one network will be based off of his history someday. Or is it anybody who's surprised? Like, I know one thing about Muslims flying. They tend not to land well. Pat, we'll kick it to you first.
Which network? Is that Compound Media?
I'm just making a joke. Yeah.
I hope they perform genocide. Anyway, wow. There's your new sticker, you piece of shit. Anyway, so it's not anyone celebrating his death. I mean, he did murder a lot of people. I mean, I don't think you should celebrate people's deaths, but he was an awful person. Bobby, if you know anything about American politics, we have a lot of young 55-year-old protege senators waiting to become president in 20, 30 years. So that's just the thing. When it's time to lead a country, you're a protege till you're about 82. I mean, it's like, so yeah, I guess it's not a big deal. And maybe protege means something else in Iranian talk. Who knows? To us, it means like young, up-and-coming learner. Maybe there it just means I bomb women and stuff.
King of the goat fuckers.
Yeah.
That's what protege means when translated to Arabic.
Yeah, it means goat, but it means gayest of all times. He's like, that's him. But it's the most.
I just can't wait to be a king.
Fuck king. That's those kids. All right, enough. Blow the helicopter. So, no, the piece of shit, and I talked about this last week as well, is helicopters. It is. It's the dumbest thing that we have to drive around in. They're stupid as fuck. They are the special needs bus of the sky. Like it really is just. It can't really land anywhere unless it has a giant X. Every time it starts, it's just big and loud and stupid, and everybody's hair is flying around. You have to like run and go what and scream. You can barely get enough people in. If you get more than 4 fat fucks in it, you can't go anywhere. There's barely ever doors. There's somebody always yelling dumb conversation. It's not really convenient in any way. They're stupid. They're dumb. No one ever looks cool in them. You know what I mean? Like no one gives a shit if you fly. Celebrities that are boring end up doing that. Like they're doing well, and then all of a sudden they have a lull in their career, and they're morons. And what can they figure out to do? Fly a helicopter. It has to be fucking easy because all these idiots are like, "Look at me, I can do it." You know, it's like Kobe Bryant was in there with his family of 12, but you can afford a jet. He probably has enough money where he could find out that we have teleportation devices. And you could fly over it somewhere. But he's like, nah, let's just all go in a stupid. I'd rather be in a goddamn hot air balloon. At least that has some romance to it. This is just stupid. Helicopters are so fucking dumb. A black cock. No one likes black cock down. That's the worst kind of cock to be down. Fuck that. Helicopters are dumb. Every time someone gets in one that blows up or it crashes, I'm like, good. Ban those pieces of shit. Those and mopeds. Get the fuck out of here.
I get what you're saying. But, like, if that's the Subaru of this, like, you're saying it's the Subaru of air travel?
I'm not saying it's for lesbians.
Just you said it was like the gayest, most retarded way to travel, so I assumed.
Oh, well, I would think the gayest, most retarded way to travel would be a short bus, but instead of seats, it has penises.
And it's painted like the rainbow flag.
Yeah, you have to sit and just get punched in the butt while you go, wear a helmet. That's the gayest, most retarded way to travel.
And it's all those kids they've tricked into drag. By the way, thank you for your
They're
stars,
not
Brian.
tricked.
I appreciate that. You're the man.
Oh, on
you know
Facebook.
what stars
I thought
are?
he was just calling. I thought he was calling us stars. Like, here's my stars.
No, that's why I said that. I was like, I don't want Ben to think he's being sarcastic. He's being nice.
No, I know. Brian's gonna be on my next show at Riverwalk. Dude, Brian's a good guy.
Oh, that's
Funny
sick.
comic.
I just saw the here are some stars. I was like, at first I was like, oh, look at this asshole. being like, oh, look.
No,
at these
I thought he was
in the morning.
Brian's a good positive guy, so I thought he was like, look at these stars. I'm like, oh yeah, we got stars. Like, oh, he gave us star. Yeah, okay, fuck it,
That's
whatever.
awesome.
So who's the piece of
But
shit, Bobby?
For me, the piece of shit in the story, it would be George W. Bush. And you might be asking
Bush?
why. Yeah, because after 9/11, everyone said, let's turn that area to glass. And if it truly was all glass, no one would fly a helicopter or try to land it on it. You can't land a helicopter on glass, it'll break. So if Bush had just followed through with what he said he was going to do, that guy would still be alive.
How would he turn the glass? He would just use a flamethrower until it all turned to glass?
Nuclear.
Right? Oh, he would just use like, I think George Bush, we're talking the good Bush, not the bad Bush. I don't think either one was great, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I was gonna say not the former CIA head who your generation somehow allowed to be president, Pat. You know it was a good idea to put in charge of the country? This guy who used to be in charge of the CIA. The one who was selling drugs.
For him. I think the first person I could vote for was Clinton. To be fair, I think age-wise, I think I just missed the Bush vote.
I want to know how they sold that to America. This should be our next president, the guy who used to be in charge of spying. You know that whole say no to drugs, even though we were introducing it to neighborhoods in the 80s?
Right. Well, the reason why they said they did it is the same reason that Biden's president, because he was president under a person they loved, so they just said association. That's all it was. He was Reagan's guy, and then everybody loved Reaganomics. So, but no one looked into the other shit. They're just like, well, the economy was good with Reagan, so hopefully it is with this guy. Same thing with Biden when they were like, well, when we had Obama, at least there weren't as many riots. So hopefully we'll have less riots.
All right. Fair. I'm just saying, like, my first question.
Biden's the guy who just said, I have black friends. And they're like, all right, I guess that works here.
Okay, he didn't start a hate group. You know.
Yeah, he's like, I've seen Big Mike's penis.
Like, oh, lucky you.
Yeah.
Maybe if we elect him, he'll show us all. I'm just saying, like, if I was debating,
I don't have the story real quick. I don't have the story pulled up because I just don't want to do another commencement thing. But did you see that he spoke at Morehead State?
No, that's awesome though.
Morehead State, one of the most prominent black universities there is, and half the people, not half, it's about a quarter of the picture. When Biden started to talk, they all just turned around and faced the other way. They didn't leave. They literally turned their backs and just faced the other way as he spoke.
That's the best heckle ever.
Yeah, that's way more. Getting up is one thing, to literally just go, I'm sitting here, but I'm going to just let you know I'm leaving. I mentally left you. Like, you mentally
You're the problem in this situation. Not like if somebody leaves, you could be like, oh, maybe they had somewhere to go. I know, you know, but in that situation, they're like, we're waiting for you to be done so we can enjoy our evening again.
If he was giving, and I know the guy leading the commencement doesn't do this, but if he was the one giving away like the diplomas to each person, wouldn't it be fun if one of them went up and just sniffed them?
That'd be amazing.
You like that? Ooh, it smells like death.
Would you be able to resist the urge to, as you walk past him, go, he shit himself? Because you know everybody's gonna believe you.
I would quickly grab a bike and ride a bike towards him and then collapse and just fall. Me too. It happens to all of us.
Oh, my president is dumb.
My president is dumb. Hello, birds. There they are.
Oh God,
that's okay. The birds are fine. So, who was your piece of shit? George Bush.
It was George Bush. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to make my joke about Muslims not being able to land.
No, that's fun. When I hear Bobby, it's very safe and smart to just make fun of Muslims a whole bunch.
Yeah, they don't tend to do anything about it.
They never like fly off the handle a little bit and get a little nuts. It's a smart move. You should probably double down on that.
Well, I didn't want to tell you this, but this whole episode I've actually been sketching Muhammad, so I'll
I
show
was
it.
gonna say, if you join the Patreon now, we have a Muhammad sketch contest. If you can make Muhammad and Bobby look the same, we'll tell you who makes the best Muhammad Bobby. Muhammad Bobby, dude, that's your new name. Muhammad Bobby, come on, that's good stuff. We gotta make that happen. Draw us pictures of Muhammad Bobby, send them in, and then we'll send them to the people that Bobby are making fun of, so they kill him.
We'll send him to Charlie Hebdo.
Oh, Charlie Hebdo. All right. You want to go? That your story was a little. There was death, and it was a little sad, and there was like politics. So let's get away from that.
Maybe you were sad,
right? No. I'll keep the death part. But Courtney Cox says late Friends co-star Matthew Perry still visits her. So they put quotes around visits. So I don't know what that means. That sounds sexual. But I don't know that. I don't know why there's quotes around it. By the way, the person who wrote this article. Oh, why does it keep doing this? Nika Shaks. I think
she died in a helicopter crash this morning after writing this article.
SHAKHNAZAROVA.
Your guess was as good as mine. I got lost the third consonant you threw out there, buddy.
Well, once there was an H after the K, I'm like, what are we doing? Like SHAK and then HN. So there's a KH and an N together. What's that sound?
Yeah, pretty much. I just know at the end she said she was.
She is.
I know at the end she said she was an OVO hoe, and I don't deal with that.
Courtney Cox believes that her late Friends co-star Matthew Perry still visits her 7 months after his untimely death. Appearing on CBS Sunday Morning, the actress who starred as Monica, we don't give a fuck. That part. In the show, the pair's two characters ultimately end up together. Yeah, we know. Why is this about the show? I think he probably is one of the funniest human beings in the world. All right, fuck you.
He probably was.
If he wasn't, he isn't, and he wasn't.
Yeah, let's at least use proper grammar. If we're gonna lie to people.
He's not even one of the top 10 funniest guys to die in the last 2 years.
Arguably, he wasn't top 5 funniest guys on that show.
Remember when he said they said he invented a new style of comedy, and they called it like Chandler speak, and they told that to Norm Macdonald, and he goes, "You mean sarcasm?" He goes, Matthew Perry invented sarcasm. It's a great. If you find that video, it's fucking. He's like, "Oh wow!" Right? Because when I met him, I was like, "Wow, I don't understand what you're saying. What's this speak you're doing?"
Didn't he also write the sketch for him where it was just like him teaching sarcasm or something?
Well, he wrote that and pitched it when he came on Saturday Night Live, and he didn't. He right away knew he was trolling him, so he wouldn't do it. Yeah, but he wrote a sketch of Matthew Perry teaching sarcasm to people.
Yeah.
So she said he had genuinely a huge heart. Well, obviously after it got filled with all that water in the tub.
Yeah. What's untimely about drowning in a hot tub on Oxycontin?
Yeah, I think, you know what? If you're on Oxycontin and you're in a hot tub and you're a drug addict and you're a former famous actor, 59 is not untimely. That's so timely. That is the time. He's genuinely a huge heart. Obviously struggled. Thanks, Courtney. Did he struggle well? He died in a hot tub, fucking belly down.
He could have stood up if he really was struggling.
He made like 3 other shows after that where he was the same character, just going, like, we hate you. He's like, give me cocaine.
Yeah, literally one of the shows was just, I'm Matthew Perry and I'm in recovery. Please help.
Yeah, he had a show called I'm Matthew Perry and I'm in rehab. Like it was. I just got fucking issues.
It was like after Charlie Sheen lost 2.5 Men and FX gave him a show called Anger Management where it was just him being Charlie Sheen and they added hot chicks to the show. Yeah.
I do remember that. I forgot Charlie Sheen had that show, Anger Management, because he had issues. Like, yeah, we're just going to call it this.
Not Cocaine AIDS Meltdown.
Dude, who wouldn't want, next week on Cocaine AIDS Meltdown, I would watch that show all day. Cam. Did you see Cam? Cam's great. Next week on Cam. Yo, this episode, there was no cocaine, but there was like double the AIDS. Great.
Yeah, a lot of AIDS. I'm hoping they do double the coke next week to make up for it.
Make up for the AIDS. Can't make up for the AIDS. Oh, good morning, Mike. My nephew.
I hope you're using this as a school presentation of some sort, Mike. Like, this is why I want to go to school to not be this.
Right. But Mike, if you are learning history, it's good to know back in the 80s, we had a thing called AIDS. Look it up, but don't do research.
It definitely didn't come from the government, the same government that then elected the guy accused of starting AIDS. Anyway, go ahead, Pat.
Hey, you. Are you the one who started AIDS? I'm accusing. I'm over here now. I'm looking at you and I'm accusing you of starting AIDS. You, whoever smelt it, dealt it. Whoever laid it, AIDS it. You know what I mean? That's the old sayings they used to do. It's me. I have AIDS.
I'm just saying. Herbert Walker, what do you think the H stood for?
Wades?
No, HIV.
Why would HIV? H stood for HIV?
Yeah, a lot of people think it's Herbert Walker. It's actually HIV Walker Bush.
HIV Walker. Is that like a day walker? He can go amongst them.
It's never going to progress to AIDS, but boy, can he spread it.
He can own a store in San Francisco, but he's not going to die there, shit his pants like the rest of them.
Thank you. You get it. He's got the Magic Johnson version.
He's got
the Freddie Mercury.
All right. I'm so thankful I got to work so closely with him for so many years. He visits me a lot. If we believe in that. What do you mean? If we believe in it? If she thinks she's getting visited, wouldn't she believe in it? Wouldn't that be the whole purpose of the visit? Is that she believes that he's visiting her?
I think she's saying she believes in it, but she's not going to tell you or try to convince you to believe in it.
But she went on Good Morning America and told everyone. Like a crazy
I'm sure she was expecting
like
a lot of pushback.
Crazy person. Dude, she went on Good Morning America and said, you know that fat bloated cokehead, Matthew Perry? Sometimes he visits me in my house. And they're like, all right, Looney Tunes, we'll be keeping a watch on you to see which tub you drown in.
Yeah. Because all right, go ahead. I'll save my thoughts. I interrupted enough on this story. I apologize.
Listen, I just talked to Matthew Perry. He said it's fine. It's fine. He just visited me too.
I talked to Matthew Perry too. You know what he said? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dwayne.
Dwayne who?
Dwayne the bathtub. I'm drowning.
Oh no! Oh no! He's Dwayne the bathtub. I'm drowning. Ah! No one told me it was gonna end this way.
Yeah.
I did coke as a cock, and then I was DOA. Everyone knew I took it in the rear. But it hasn't been my day, my month, or even my year.
Why do you think Charlie Sheen's always on the set here? Don't forget that.
No more shows for you. It's because you are dead. I talked to my mom, my dad, Matthew. I feel like there are a lot of people that I think guide us. She shared. I sense Matthew's around for sure. Because whenever she's drunk and he's like, cocaine's under the couch. She's like, thanks, Matthew.
Do you smell what I'm smelling?
Days after his tragic death in October 2023, the Friends cast, including Cox, Jennifer Aniston, Schwimmer, LeBlanc, and Kudrow, shared a joint statement. We are so utterly devastated by the loss of Matthew. We were more than just castmates. We are a family. Well, your family ignored one of your fucking members in its tub. I wouldn't say we were a family when no one knew that he was just drowning in a tub. Families know that I checked into a tub and I'm sad. So I wouldn't say you were maybe a dysfunctional family, but if it's your family, you killed one of your kids.
Yeah, we're a family, and Matthew's the 14-year-old who OD'd and died at way too young. Yeah, we get it.
In time, we will say more, as and when we are able. For now, our thoughts and our love are with Maddie's family. Maddie, I don't like that he's Maddie. His friends, and everyone who loved him around the world. 2 weeks later, Cox shared a tribute of her own on social media, as well as a personal memory she had with Perry. I am so grateful. Who cares? I don't care about when they die. What did he say as a ghost? Did he say good shit? Talking about the scenes they were in. Perry was pronounced dead on October 28th at age 54 after being found unresponsive in a hot tub at his home in Pacific Palisades. Yeah, we know. In December, the actor died of acute effects of ketamine. Oh, they were cute. Ah, oh, no, you know ketamine. Oh, you're taking little drugs for animals. Oh, that's so cute.
Turns out the cute side effect was he's able to be a ghost now.
The manner of death was accidental. What's even funnier that CBS has a fucking sitcom called Ghosts, and Matthew Perry can't even get on that now.
Maybe a guest star.
The autopsy also listed drowning, coronary artery disease, and the opioid I'm not good at drugs. Buprenorphine as contributed to his death. Perry, who was not married and had no children, had a long history of drug and alcohol use. He opened up about his decades-long battle with addiction in a memoir titled Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. You think that'd be great if the Big Terrible Thing was Joey?
I was about to say if it was just that Schwimmer dude.
I guess Schwimmer's that. If that was the name of the show, I would have watched it. Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. And they all come out dancing, and Schwimmer's in the back going, ah! I'd be like, oh, fucking Schwimmer.
I'm gonna get you. No.
Or they remake Friends, and nowadays they have to make it woke, so they finally have to have a black friend. So they get like Shaquille O'Neal, and they change the name to Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. And Shaq's just, oh, this is crazy. Where's Charles Barkley?
Jennifer Aniston, tell me how my ass tastes.
You like that shit? Tell me, Schwimmer, you like my balls? I don't like Friends anymore. Friends are the worst. Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Courtney Cox for thinking that Matthew Perry visits her at her fucking house? Is it Good Morning America or any of the other shows that let Courtney Cox come on to talk about that? There's other people to talk to. What are we doing? You're having a tough morning of news story. Like, we find some dumb stories, but yeah, again, I'm making fun of it, but I did lead with it as my story. But at the same time, we shit on stuff. We're not trying to present real news. They had a real person on who said they talked to ghosts, and because we all think it's okay because it's a ghost that was on TV before. So you never noticed that? If you talk to a famous person, everyone's like, wow, that's amazing. But you just talk to some guys like, I'm in a well still. They're like, you're loony. Get in the bin. It's fucking crazy for them all the time. Is it Matthew Perry? Stop bothering people, even in death. You know what I mean? What a fucking nudge. What a fucking loser. You
think it might have been awkward?
Shit. Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh, does that mean Schwimmer's going to visit people and he dies going, pivot? It's like, just go through the wall, you on stupid a break. Bitch. Fucking Jesus. I know about some of these quotes. But anyway, is it Matthew Perry for not visiting better or just leaving people alone he knew then? Like, what are you doing here? Who's the piece of shit? Is it Friends for being Friends? Is it Hot Tubs?
So, okay. It's not Hot Tubs. They did what they were supposed to. Did she have something else to promote?
No, it doesn't say here.
Then it's Good Morning America. Like,
or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was like one of the shittier ones, but it was one of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but either way, whoever booked her is my point. Like, you know when you can get Courtney Cox to be on your show?
CBS Sunday Morning, which is the shittier.
Yeah,
CBS, The weekdays they have the good people, so it was the Sunday ones. Okay, I kind of
get it. Okay. You know when you can get Courtney Cox on a Sunday? Any Sunday. Her schedule's pretty open these days. Wait till she has something to promote. Like, yeah, the way she phrased it was fucking douchey. She made his death all about her. He comes and visits me. But I would be lying if I said I didn't sit here in moments of crisis and think about how people who passed away would give me advice. Not that they actually come and visit me. I don't think that's what happens. But, like, people who were mentors or friends who passed on that always get, you know what I mean? Like, do you ever do that? No?
No.
Really?
Once they're dead, they're fucking done.
Okay, that's fair.
But they are. They're dead. I got to move on to other people. They're dead.
Yeah. No, I get that. But, like, if you have to make a decision or, you know, if you're going through an emotional crisis,
no.
I do all the
time. And I know people do that. I know people that pray to saints to find shit. And, no, it works for people. I'm just saying.
No, there's a difference between that. Like, sometimes I'll be like, Dear ChatGPT, research everything you can about Patrice O'Neal's show, The Black Phillip Show, and then give me advice as if you were Patrice O'Neal. that's
that's
like
AI.
different. Yeah, that's my point. Like, it's me being the AI. Like, I know I'm not talking to a dead person. I'm not reaching out to the dead person, but I'm going, okay, even if it's like even if you want to take it to a religious point and you're like, all right, what would Jesus do? Like that level of thing. All right, like it's a way of still paying tribute to those people who've touched my lives, but I don't think at any point they're talking back. And if there is an
Yeah, but
afterlife, I would hope they're not fucking checking in on me. Go get some pussy.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Right?
they, I don't think they have. I don't think there's ghost puss, but
All right, well then what's heaven? Because if heaven's paradise and there's no ghost puss, I gotta be honest, that sounds a little gay. Okay? You could take your gay heaven. Turns out God does love fags because that's all he parties with this if there's no ghost puss.
I don't believe in this shit, but I guess I'd have to ask the question then. If you do believe in a heaven, if you believe in heaven, you don't believe in ghosts, right? Because ghosts would be the spirit and the soul would be in heaven. So therefore, why would he be down here chilling, visiting Courtney Cox? So wherever he's at, she doesn't much believe in heaven. He's just looming the earth, I guess, waiting
Right.
for
I
another
think
sitcom.
she phrased it like a cunt. I think what she meant was like he still advises her life through like influence. I don't think he actually talks to her. Like my grandpa passed away a while ago. And there are still times I'll think like, what would he say in this situation? And I wouldn't consider that him talking to me. I would just be like, yeah. The way she phrased it was to try to get attention. Very good point, Bailey. But it's whatever show she's on. Wait till she has something to promote. You wrote a book, you wrote a diet class or whatever the new craze is, then have her on and she can spew this horse shit. But until then, like, until there's Cougar Town 2, shut the fuck up, Courtney Cox.
Still Cougar. Great. I don't think the piece of shit is
Crazy
Courtney
because
Cox.
the dude has no hair.
Right.
At all. He like that disease that bitch got her husband to slap somebody over.
Who
He has that. The main character from Cougar Town.
Oh, I never saw it. I was like, who the fuck?
Then
has
what's
no
wrong
hair?
with
Matthew
you?
Perry now?
Okay. What?
What?
Yeah.
I never saw. I'm sorry. There's anyone in the chat see Cougar Town? Probably not.
I used to work at a sandwich shop and it was on every day during my lunch break. That's the only reason I know this show. And then Brad Morris, the main character, is great friends with Bill Schultz. So he'd come in the morning all the time and I'd ask him questions about Cougar Town. And one day he was finally like, why do you know this much about Cougar Town?
I think the piece of shit is not Courtney Cox. This is something Courtney Cox has been trained to do her whole life: promote, get attention, do things, go on shows. That's what she wants to keep her career going. She needs to stay relevant. People cared about Matthew Perry, the people that liked her, so therefore you bring it up if they ask. It's not CBS Sunday Morning. They're like, listen, we can go grab her. People remember her. They'll watch her. So I get all that being on there. But it is. It's not Courtney Cox for those reasons, but it is Courtney Cox because, listen, you want a TV show, and then you're just spilling the beans about one of the biggest things that makes you relevant and like interesting for a second on CBS and a morning show. You should have this show, a new version of Friends, where it's the same show, but at the beginning of the show, halfway through the song, they stop at the fountain, they pull out a Ouija board, and they all pray around it. And then Matthew Perry shows up, and now it's Friends with a dead friend, and he's just hot. And all they have to do is they do the regular episodes, but they take out Perry's character and they make it like a ghosty looking like Ebenezer Scrooge, dude. That would be the fucking show. And now you change this what he says. You have AI, right? What would dead Matthew Perry say as Chandler in this scene? And then everything else is exactly the same. All the ones with Joey, it's the same show. They just changed that one thing. So it's Dead Friends. And dude, Dead Friends would be a big show. And they all get residuals. Matthew Perry, we can put the money to like a hot tub foundation or something like that. And then we could raise money for that. But that's the show. You don't spill the beans and ruin all this by saying I get visited by somebody. You make the visits happen on TV. And also, fuck you, Courtney. CBS, your show was on NBC. You should be on the NBC, whatever. Be loyal. What the fuck are you doing?
I couldn't agree with you more. What am I doing? Getting AI to write and answer questions as Ghost Matthew Perry.
By the way, Bobby, you know what we should start selling for real? I know we always have ideas, never do it. What would Matthew Perry do? Bracelets?
And then it's just like one of those. If you pull it, it inflates.
Well, No, just if you turn it like, remember it would be like Underdog, the old cartoon where you'd have like the energy pill in there. You open it, just a little bit of cocaine, just right there in your little bracelet.
Ooh, I like that a lot better.
And someone goes, "Wait, what does
Underdog.
that stand for? What would Matthew Perry do?" Like, oh, you ask what Matthew Perry would do, and he just goes like this, and he goes, "Here's a line of cocaine. That's what he would do. That's how you do it."
I love that. Also, we could get T-shirts that say "Friends" on it, and like
Yep.
the eye could be a coffin, and it could just be Matthew Perry, and on the back it says "Ghost Friends."
Nice. Or we can have the picture of the friends at the tub right in front of the fountain, but Matthew Perry's not in there. You just see his hands like this sticking out of the water. That could be a fun one.
Sorry, I had to look up for the visual cue.
Here it is. All right. Are you still looking up shit, or can you go to your next story?
I can go to my next story. I was trying to see how Ghost Matthew Perry would respond to Courtney Cox. You want to do more Middle East talk, Pat, or would you rather do cock wobblers?
Cock wobblers.
Okay, so I may have teased you a bit by saying that. I just always call Piers Morgan a cock wobbler because I'm pretty sure that's what he called Pat Dixon once.
Piers Morgan?
Yeah, Piers is kind of gay. He's like the liberal Alex Jones. Like he says shit just to fire people up. I
that's his job.
Never thought he's brought anything of merit to the table, and he did America's Got Talent, and he's British. And I don't like British people judging him if America's Got Talent.
But Simon Cowell does it.
Yeah, but he's not. I don't think he's a real human. Like, you know that question about the ship, right? If you have a ship and you surgically eventually over time all the parts break, then you repair the deck first, and then you repair the bow, you repair everything, and eventually you've got an entirely new ship. Is it the same ship, even though none of the parts are the same? That's how I feel about Simon Cowell. That man's had so much surgery. It's a philosophical question, yeah.
If a boat breaks and then you fix the boat, is it still a boat?
No. So over time, if you have a boat, right, and you repair all the pieces one at a time over time to the point where none of the original pieces are still on the boat, is it still the same boat?
Well, if you're an old fuck who has a car and you put a new engine in it and new seats, is it still the same car? Yeah, you just fucking put new parts.
Everything's been repaired.
My friend Frank is getting a new heart. He's still Frank.
Yes, he is. That's fair. But the modern version of the question would be the band Foreigner no longer has currently any of its original members.
No, they just don't have the lead singer.
Why do we just call it the band Foreigner if they've replaced every single member? At a time they had. Now they're most of them are back, but there was a period where literally none of the original members were on it. I saw them open.
Well, the one founder of, because we talked to the old lead singer when I was on Jazz and AJ. You know, because he was doing the Milford Oyster Festival, that's how well it was going for him. And so, when you say Foreigner, he goes, "I don't call them by that name. They aren't Foreigner without me." So he gets officey.
So there you go. There's one guy.
But they are Foreigner.
My question about Simon Cowell.
Yeah, no, Simon Cowell is a person. Piers Morgan is a person. Go ahead, Piers Morgan and Cox.
So Piers Morgan says that this Baby Reindeer, are you familiar with Baby Reindeer? I think we talked about it on here, did we not?
If not, it's a new show on Netflix. It has to do with a stalker and a comedian.
So yeah, a comedian writes about a stalker, his experience. It's a terrible show. I wouldn't watch it. It's a waste of 4 hours. But in the end, you find out he was molested a bunch by some other dude while on drugs, and that's why he allowed this woman to abuse him, because he kind of likes it. Well, this woman's come out and done a number of interviews on Pier's show saying that, she wasn't a stalker. A lot of the shit was made up, and it really made her out to be a bad person. Now, the irony in there is nobody would have known her real name if she hadn't gone on Pier's show. But as some of the stuff came out, the social media posts they use in the show were her real social media. So, you could have tied it to her together if you were a good enough internet sleuth.
Yeah.
I could see that. But Pierce says the real problem is the woman, Laura Kuensberg. That's an unfortunate name.
That's combining two of them.
Yeah. But Pierce said that there's a big problem for Netflix.
Wait, they got those now?
Yeah,
That'd be great. You're
right?
in the JCC basketball team and you break out of Koonsberg. Like, oh,
Oh,
finally.
you're like,
We got Shlomo playing point, but don't worry, Koonsberg's playing power forward. Yes, thank God Koonsberg's here. Finally some dunks.
oh, I guess Koonsberg is a different journalist that Piers was talking to, but he basically said there's going to be a big problem because this woman was never convicted of stalking. Like it said in the show, none of this was ever proven, and they put it out there like it was real to the point where they made it clear it was her by using her real social media, and they may be open for a lawsuit. So who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Piers Morgan for latching himself on to yet another pop culture story, trying to glimpse on or cling to his last 15 seconds of fame before society puts him down like he's Matthew Perry in a hot tub? Is it Laura Koonsberg? Like, just come up with a stage name. I mean, Courtney Cox goes by Courtney Cox, and her life's going pretty well. Is it
Cox.
the original Fiona for coming forward and complaining? Like, yeah, it sucks you got humiliated in the international spotlight for a week, but if you just let it go, it'll go away. Or is it Gad? You're not even the funniest guy with the last name Gad. The other one kind of sucks. So why would you lie about, you know what I mean? Like, who's the piece of shit in the story? Let me get your thoughts, Pat.
All right, well, it's not the Gad problem. I can't help their names or whatever. All right, the guy wrote a thing based on stuff. He's even said it was based on it, and everyone knows that when you write something like this for comedic things or movie stuff, you're going to take liberties, you're going to add things, you're going to change stories, so it's better for television or for streaming. So it's not slander because they're not just flat out saying stuff. There are reports, there are some police things. So a lawsuit is going to be kind of tough. She can respond the other way, but if he didn't use her real name and didn't use those things in there, I mean, he kind of used her name, but not really. Oh, what I think is funny is that in those interviews, she would say one thing she was mad about is that the character in it looked nothing like her as a big fat woman, and then she's a big fat woman, and then Piers would say, like, seriously? Like, you don't even see the resemblance at all. He would just keep like doubling down every time she said, like, you don't see that you're also fat and gross.
Okay,
but, like,
good for Piers then.
Right. So yeah, I don't mind how he handles it. The fact I know that you're thinking like, he's a this and that, whatever. The fact that he's taking the Larry King approach of like, if there's drama in the news, I'm gonna put that on my show and let people instead of going after the news all the time. I kind of like that he goes after like the petty shit. It's like, oh, there's a fat bitch mad about baby reindeer. And because when they're presenting stuff, Pierce can talk about anything he wants, and the network just let him do it at this point. And and so he could be like, you want to talk about Hamas? Like, nah. He's like, that fat bitch from Baby Reindeer? I can get her again. Like, all right, I guess so. So, like, in that regards, I kind of like it. It's kind of like Art Tard Tuesday, where it's like sometimes you just want to have fun and have a mental patient on and have a good time. You know what I mean? So I don't have any problem with that. I don't have a problem with the guy writing the Gad guy writing it. I do have a problem with him being in it too, because then now that you are kind of saying some fucked up shit about her and accusing things, it does seem more real because you're in it too. If he got an actor to play him, then you could be like, oh, I wrote this thing, but it's not me, obviously. Someone else is there. But now you're making it more real because he's in the thing saying he was stalked and molested and all that kind of shit and how crazy she was. So, but I think the piece of shit is any fat woman who is stalking a comedian, because that means you found the one comedian that I've ever met besides me that wouldn't fuck a fat woman that gave him any attention whatsoever. That's it. You found the unicorn. I've never seen in my life a comedian turn down the grossest pussy I've ever seen. It happens all the time. We knew a guy, right? He's still a comic around here in Connecticut. When I opened mics at Joker's Wild years ago, this woman used to come every week. She's a big, fat, stupid whore. And she would just come by and she'd like hang out after the open mic and just be saying, someone please pay attention to me. And then and she would literally say to people, you could fuck me, you can do whatever you want. And they're like, no thanks. Everyone's turning this lady down. And they're just too gross, whatever. I didn't drink enough. Goodbye. The next week, this other comic comes in and goes, hey guys, my girlfriend's coming to the show. I'm like, who's your girlfriend? He's like, oh, I have my new girlfriend. You guys know her. She walks in. I'm like, the stupid fat whore? That's your girlfriend now? He's like, yeah, we hooked up and now we're dating. And then she broke his heart. She's a big fat stupid lady who just wanted to date some comedian to be there. And she finally got what she wanted, and she also got to leave him. It was sad. She actually left him. she was supposed to bring 3 other people for a bringer he was supposed to do, and she broke his heart that day, and he couldn't have anyone be at the bringer. So not only was he brokenhearted, but he also couldn't perform because he didn't have 4 people. Which is a fucking double whammy move. But it's
I can
anybody.
tell you
Any
who the
comic.
piece of shit in your story is real quick, and it's that comedian. Hire 3 whores.
No, he didn't have whore money, but he had to write some more.
How much is that bringer
but,
paying?
But the piece of shit in the story to me is the fat woman for not understanding that she could just turn around and find another comedian. End of story. Very simple.
Fair. I do think you're a piece of shit saved Greg Billette from being the butt of one of my jokes, but yeah, no, I kind of had a similar sentiment.
Greg Billette, former really funny comic, a guy who used to be on the show. Yes.
He will be back on eventually. He works mornings, unfortunately, and nights he does an open mic on Tuesday. That's why he hasn't been around in a while. But he's a good dude.
Well, no, I just wanted to say out loud because you said his name, so people wouldn't know who he was. The comic that
I was following up your tag. I love Greg, good dude, but he also has a propensity for larger portion women.
Yeah,
you know that was the joke I was making.
A lot of people that are sad and alone do.
For me, the piece of shit in this story is Josh Gad. No, not Josh. What's this other loser's name?
Yeah, it's not Josh Gad's the guy from Frozen.
Yeah, so you're telling me he wasn't the stalker in this story?
No, Josh Gad had nothing to do with this. Josh Gad is the what's his name? The stupid Olaf.
Yeah. You're telling me annoying fat woman that follows comics around, not Josh Gad.
No, it's not that, and it's not Gad. What you call it?
Sad Gad.
Sad Gad or Gadsbar.
No, it's
Madagascar.
It's the guy who got stalked. Like, you got it. Fucking a fat chick's mutually assured destruction. In the sense that if she tells people you fucked her, they're gonna think she took advantage of you. And if you tell people you fucked her, it's just embarrassing for the both of you.
Why are you telling people you fuck? What are we 12?
That's my point. Yeah. Don't make a whole fucking TV show about it.
As a person who went through crazy shit with someone,
yeah, that's my point.
About writing stuff.
But that's my point. One time Gavin was talking about a comedian who was like, I'm angry all the time. And was like, you ever just almost punch a wall? And Gavin was like, oh, you're not really angry. Like, I think you went through real shit. This dude went through some.
Well, but I wasn't like angry, but like, no, what I'm saying is when something that nuts happens in your life and it kind of consumes you as a comic, you feel like I went through therapy for all this, but like I get over everything in life very easily because I make jokes about it and I talk about everything in my life. I went through depression, I go this, that, whatever. I talk about it. I wasn't talking about this thing I was going through, and my therapist is like, it won't be real. It won't be have closure in your head until you treat it like you treat everything else. And I did start thinking like I need to write about it or do something. So he did. Even if that story is half true, he did go through some crazy shit. I know it sounds like nothing because usually the problem is, and he had to deal with this too, and I dealt with it a little bit, is that people are always like, oh, but you're a guy, get over it. Like, they don't think about the man having to deal with the narcissist and the man having to deal with the abuse, but there is fucked up shit. If you're not a bad person and you're not, like, because usually the men who don't have to, like, deal with it are bad people because they, like, you start punching and shit. Like, but if you're a good person and you don't get violent or mad and you feel for people, you can be taken advantage of. So therefore, when this is all done, you feel like a piece of shit and no one believes you and no one really understands your pain. I can see trying to make people laugh, but also write something where people go, oh shit, that's happened to me too, and I can relate to it. So I do get why he did it. I just don't understand why he would put himself in the. That's the super selfish part. I'm going to give myself the lead role. Don't do the Rocky Balboa thing. Hire someone else. You don't have to play Rocky as well.
But have you seen the show? And I'm not being a jerk.
I saw parts.
Okay, just I don't know what you're exactly referring to. But we're friends enough to know, I could say with certainty, both you and I have gone through significantly more traumatic shit than whatever was portrayed on that show, is my point. Like,
but like the old saying goes, like, don't judge someone on their worst day. You know what I mean? Because my worst day could be what happened to me, whatever. His worst day may seem on paper less, but it's still the worst thing he's ever experienced. So it's not fair to go like ours is worse. It's what made him nuts.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, I think his thing wasn't that bad. So then he embellished, and the embellishment was to make it worse. Like, it's almost kind of like, I don't know, a guy complaining about a paper cut in Vietnam. Like, I think there might be some people who had more, even as much as I don't like her, that I got raped lesbian bitch. What was her name?
Hannah Gadsby.
Yeah, like her story is more traumatic than
She's
what
also
this
a
dude went
Gad.
through. Maybe we don't let them do comedy.
Yeah, maybe the Gad should be killed. We should have Gadicide. Kill all
Yeah,
the Gads.
and I'm not trying to, put anybody in a position, but it's like I think that's where the problem lied, because if you're trying to make it seem worse than it was, the only way to do that is to make the people involved in the story seem worse than they were. Because he didn't lean into the actual like getting drugged and raped stuff as much as he did. This girl annoyed me because I gave her free drinks at a bar, and it's like, well, who
Yeah, but
invited
also
that shit?
it's supposed to be kind of comedic, right?
If it was, I missed it. I
Okay,
did
I thought it
not.
was supposed to
It's
be
one of
comedic.
those shows, when you watch a movie or a show and you get done, you feel dirty. Like, I
Yeah.
don't like what I just did. That's how it didn't leave you like, not even like, that was funny, but fucked up. It was just, that was fucked up.
I felt like that last night. We watched the 3-part documentary series on Ashley Madison.
Oh, was
I
I
don't
in
know if you
there?
watched that
A
yet.
bunch?
No, they didn't they didn't show the whole list, but I was hoping to find your name in there. But
It's just a blacked out screen, but you could clearly see this background going, yeah, it really fucked up my life for a while.
but like when you talk about embellishing, Bobby, that's what as comedians we're supposed to do. Like I did a show on Friday, and I've been working on this bit where I say something where I know the crowd groans and gets upset on purpose, and they go, "You guys know we're liars, right?" And then everybody's laughing at that. I'm like, we're lying. Like we're all lie. We lie. I don't. I go.
Yeah.
I'm not someone that battles cancel culture in the way like hey, let people speak whatever they mind. But like, don't get upset at things that are a blatant lie. There is some truth behind it, but then a comedian after me goes on stage and goes, "I don't know what Pat's talking about." I tell nothing but the truth. Nothing in lies in my thing. And then proceeds to get no laughs. It's like maybe you should lie a little. You know what I mean? Maybe you should embellish. Maybe you should write. Because that's how you are funny, by embellishing. So of course he was gonna embellish. Maybe he only felt comfortable though writing this thing, talking about certain stuff, and then not going into the details of the molest. Maybe there are scenes with a lot of molestation. Netflix like easy tiger. We can't put that in there. We'll let a lot of that happen, but we don't care about this. You dork getting molested. I don't want to watch anyone get molested, like ever. Not even like if it was like live somewhere.
No, God, no.
Live
It's
molested.
fucking terrible. But I get what you're
I guess
saying
I'd watch it.
100%. And I embellish too, but I would also not be surprised if the people I was embellishing about were mad. You know what I mean? Like, I do a couple of trans jokes. There was a show in Baltimore, we talked about it on here, where it was like, hey, hang out here because there's a trans person pissed at you. And it's like, yep. And the guy's like, why are you calling? Because I saw this coming. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be prepared for that bounce back. It's going to happen sometimes. So
Oh,
for
I've
me,
got a.
no, I was just gonna say, for me, the piece of shit in the story, Piers Morgan. Stop giving this fat bitch a platform. It's got to be expensive to build a platform that can support her.
Ew. No, but like, what milk? They always tell you like dig to the well is dry. People are watching those. I know a lot of people that watch that thing and keep watching her go on it. It's getting viewed. It's like you might as well continue to do it. You know what I mean? If it's getting you attention, he's got to do a daily show. You start doing it. We were joking around the Charlotte the Stingray thing. I was doing it for a while just to get the beginning of this to get something to talk about until it became a running joke type thing. So sometimes he might as well do. What's he going to talk about? All the shit's going on now. What's he going to do? Have Terrence Howard on? If you saw that on Rogan, that was fucking babbling bullshit. That guy's lost his mind just to convince you he doesn't have a micro penis. That's all he's done. He's like, they wouldn't stop talking about my micro penis. I'll pretend like I know a new periodic table.
1 + 1 doesn't equal 2.
No.
Yeah, that's Terrence Howard. I got some bad news though.
I listened to the whole podcast the other day. It was fucking crazy.
I watched this Oxford speech, but I got bad news. I don't know if you know who Piers got on next week, but it is Charlotte the Stingray. She has some very mean things to say about us.
Nice. I can't wait. But on my first album, I talked about I used to do this joke about kids being outside of the whatever, and I said that one of the lines in the joke I said that parents nowadays are so protective. They want to put their kids in a bubble because if they go outside, they might get hit with wind and might catch lupus. And it would get a laugh like that every time. And I had really done my research in comedy. I chose a bunch of disease names that I thought were funny, but I thought wouldn't offend anybody. And you try this, you try cancer, you try AIDS, you try these, and then people are like, When I did lupus, everyone seemed to laugh. And then one day when I did the joke, after the show, a guy walked up and goes, "You got a problem with lupus?" I do like it's a whole bit. I have my album where the guy came up, got mad, presented a woman with lupus. She started yelling at me about lupus and all that. So I get that part, and it's just like of like you were talking before, like people coming up to you and saying, but people are going to do that no matter what. At the end of the day, I can't. If we sit there and try to do a census of everything and try to figure out what everyone knows, you're not going to be able to talk about anything. At the end of the day, I related to her more than most people have because holy shit, I said a thing that in her life that no one ever talks about. I mean, in the joke, I say I'm basically the Rosa Parks of lupus because I'm doing things for it that she's not. But at the same time, yeah. But I don't mind if he's doing this and he wants to talk about it. There might be people that are upset, going, "It's not this, it's not that." But at least he's talking about it. There's not enough shows about or things about men also being treated like shit by women, and women can also be all these memes. All men do this, all women do. No, they don't. It's not a blanket statement of genders. How can you, as the same woke fuck, say there's 86 genders now, but when you're mad at your boyfriend, all of a sudden all men do this? Well, then they're not men anymore. Isn't there 87 kinds of men? Stupid. So it's one way or the fucking other with it. So it's like you don't get upset at it. You just blame individuals. This fat piece of shit lady was annoying. This guy's a dork. Yeah, so you put those together and I'll watch it. Listen, we also watch Tiger King. Who gives a fuck? It's stupid TV. It's dumb shit.
That's why whenever I attack a community at large, it's either the cerebral palsy or the Alzheimer's communities.
Is that the new woke name for fat people, community at large?
No, that would be great though. I'm going to start using it. But the reason I attack those two groups is because if they come yell at me after the show, it's at least going to be entertaining. You gotta get it was not nice when you made fun of me. Or why are you mad? I don't know. Why am I mad? I think you were mad at the other comedian. I think I was mad at the other comedian. Who are you again, and how did I get here?
All right. Do you need a break quick? Or are you good?
Yeah. Do you mind doing your plugs while I go to the bathroom fast?
I will do my plugs first of all. First of all, we want you guys to hit subscribe and like right now. That would be amazing if you could do that since you're all chatting there, hearing how to hear. Please hit subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. Please share it. You're watching it. There's a share button. Just hit on that and send it over to Facebook. Hey, I'm watching this. See if other people jump on. We'd appreciate it while you're watching. It's fine. You can take it down on your thing when the show's over. I don't care. But for now, share it up there so they can see you while you're watching it. People can watch things in the morning. We appreciate everybody that's watching right now. Head over to the Patreon. You'll get a bunch of bonus contents. You get 3 exclusive shows just to you every week. We're putting out 6 shows a week now. So if you get over on Patreon, you're getting half those shows. But for those of you who are just here and don't want to do that, we understand. But it does help the show out. We have 3 tiers. You can check that out over there. Make sure you're watching tomorrow. The morning show will be on just Patreon. Our Tuesday shows are just Patreon shows. Jump on over there and you can chat in the Patreon chat there. And then Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, we'll do our POS live show, Tard Tuesdays. We're not sure Bobby's going to be on yet. And now Bobby is back.
From
now you're going to do your plugs while I get coffee. Run.
Oh, no. If only I had plugs to give. Pat already told you about all the lovely stuff we had over on the Patreon. Make sure you head over there. June 14th, I'll be in Ema, Pennsylvania. June 20th, I will be at the Bijou Theater up in Pat's neck of the woods. Maybe he doesn't have anything going on. Maybe we'll see if he wants to swing by, hang. In the meantime, make sure you're checking out this. Tell your friends about it. We're putting a lot of work in here, and we're upping the production quality. Eventually, we'll get to the point where we're doing this consistently and smoothly. But I think if you've been a Terry Nee, a Mike Oates, you've seen the growth over time. So we want to make this bigger and better. We're having fun.
Talk to my nephew about growth, dude, ever.
No, I don't think Ernie's the only one on Patreon. We've actually grown our numbers. I think
but I know what he means. He means we have more patrons, But yes, Ernie Banks is the only one who on Tuesdays comments. I'm not gonna lie, he's the only
Oh
one that
yeah,
chats
yeah.
with
It's
us on there. That's
consistently him.
That the Tuesday shows is really just the Ernie Banks. We might call it Ernie Banks Day. It's the one show that he's on there. So when
No,
are
you
you
might
at the
be
BGU? I
saying
kind of have heard that.
the 20th.
That's today.
No, of June.
Oh, okay. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
yet.
But if you don't have a show, come check it out.
Definitely, I like the Bijou. It's a fun place.
Sure.
If you go on this YouTube a long time ago, or you just search Pat Oates and Bijou, someone recorded me doing like an hour there one time, and I didn't know. They recorded it. There's a bunch of cameras. They want to work on their cameras and stuff. It's old material of me, and it's kind of weird, but it's not bad. It's a lot of crowd work, a lot of shit of people, but it's kind of cringe or fun. So check that one out.
You know what? That's a great description of. Come see me and Earl David Reed, June 20th at the Bijou Theater. No, so yeah, definitely, but definitely check out the Patreon. We got some good stuff coming. Check out the Davey Max Sports program. We had a fun one yesterday, even though I cursed the Nuggets and Dave cursed the Knicks. Pat, what do you got next, boss?
All right. I used to work for the Queen. Now I live in a bug-infested home that reeks of urine. Why'd you say nope?
I thought it was a drag queen. I don't support those.
Oh, no. A former member of the Queen's household said she now lives in a bug-infested home that reeks of urine. Ex-royal clerk Hazel Speed, 73, has been reduced to washing from a bucket after a leak from a botched toilet repair that left London home uninhabitable. She claims the leak means her rental house in Bexley, southeast London, constantly smells of urine, with the entire property waterlogged and bug-infested. The pensioner says she has been forced to sleep under coats in a recliner chair for months on end and has been left ill from the cold, damp, and stench. Hazel, who used to work as the clerk for the Central Chancery of the Orders of Knighthood, fuck you, that sounds very racist, does it not? The Central Chancery of the Orders of Knighthood, Grand Wizard Jones, has lived in the home for over 30 years.
That sounds like the British KKK branch.
Yeah, it's their secretary, the knighthood lady. But her landlord, Mountview Estates PLC, has still so far failed to rectify the nightmare. Hazel said, "I've come to the end of my tether sleeping here in the smell of urine." End of your tether? Just clean the urine, you stupid. Anyway, the water.
You've come to the end of your life, you 73-year-old bitch. Just die.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pat.
Hazel Speed, I think, with speed limit is now.
Yeah.
Die.
Yeah.
The
More like
water
Hazel
stopped
Sped.
leaking. Yeah. On May 2nd, before that, it had been pouring down nonstop about 8 or 9 weeks. Hazel said the problem began in the winter, which left the house freezing, cold, and damp, but even summer had brought its own problems. Now that's the weather's warmer. The stench is terrible, she said. Yeah, because it thawed out. It's drying it out, which is good in one way, but there are bugs crawling out in the carpet, and I wake up to the smell. I had the fan on all last night, but I felt like I could vomit. In the 70s and 80s, Hazel worked for the Queen, and now she said she once had lunch with Lady Diana, shortly before her marriage with now King Charles. In addition to her day job, Hazel was also secretary for the Royal Household Film Society. Who gives a fuck? Her leaving party was held in the Buckingham Palace. In 1977, she was awarded a Silver Jubilee Award. Who gives a fuck? She left in 84 to immigrate to Canada, but later returned to UK to become a full-time carer to her elderly mother. The walls and ceilings in Hazel's home now have black and brown staining with mold visible beneath the peeling wallpaper. Her carpets are soaked. It's dangerous, she said. Someone went flying down the stairs the other day. What the fuck? And God knows what I'm breathing in. It's like working at a cigarette factory. I've collapsed in that kitchen before. At one point, Hazel said she felt so ill that she walked to the local high street looking for help. A good Samaritan helped her move her belongings, including her prized keepsakes from her time working with the royalties, into unaffected rooms. Now most of her possessions are in her bedroom and dining room, which means she lives in the lounge. In there, she said, set her fridge and kettle up in her bathroom, which she's... First of all, I'm done with you. Who's the piece of shit in this story? It's definitely this lady. It's like... Is it this woman? Is it Hazel Speed? I don't understand what this news story is. you read it and it makes me feel like the queen somehow was responsible for her now living in shit. She used to have a job for the queen. Now her life sucks, and now she lives in squalor. That's not her fucking fault. That's fucking Oliver Twist, bitch. That's just English people. That's what happens. I've did good things in life, and I've lived in shitty things too. Life. It's how the fuck is this anyone's fault? Why are you mentioning the queen? Why are you talking to the news? What is it? Is it anyone that's fucking going, oh, it's terrible. She worked for the queen. Well, she shouldn't live this way. It's terrible that anyone lives that way. But you also have all the time in the world. I hate to say it. You're a 73-year-old lady who ain't doing shit. Clean up. You have a whole house you're in. Wow, I don't have a house. I rent an apartment. Fuck off. You can't clean it. You just took all your shit and moved into one room. You sound lazy. I'm going to throw up because the vomit smell hits the fan. Turn off the fan or stop puking, stupid. Clean up a little bit. Oh, there's urine. It's urine-soaked smell. Where does urine come from? You pee your pants. You're an old fucking lady. Stop peeing your stupid pants. The queen is dead. The queen can't help you. Lady Diana's dead. Everyone you talk to is dead. Why? Because they knew you smelled like shit. Fuck you. Or is the piece of shit England? Fuck England. Go ahead, Bobby.
Well, this bitch is pretty old, so for me, the piece of shit's her. You ever hear of karma? You know, it might be from that Indian country you were working for the queen while she was actively invading, you dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Anybody who worked for a monarchy deserves to die. How come they're the one white privilege group that gets a pass? Right? Like, my folks never owned slaves. No one in my family ever owned slaves. But I get lumped in with every time it's like, you were a conqueror. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure I was the next closest thing to you on the hierarchy.
You got bitches
of
calling you the conqueror? That's awesome, dude.
not in a good way.
Yeah. Conquer that ass.
You hit the nail on the head. You're 73. You have a whole house.
Yeah, fuck you.
Move out of the house. Get an apartment where it doesn't smell like piss. It's a pretty simple fix. Also, you know this woman did bad things in her life. It's not frozen piss's fault. You use that as a weapon. Have you ever had to make a frozen piss weapon?
No, you know what? I have not. I didn't even really think about it. No, Bobby, I've never made a frozen piss weapon.
We had an RA who ratted on my friends for smoking weed in college, and what we learned is you could take a Frisbee, right, and fill it with piss to the lid if you turned it upside down, right? Freeze it, put it like in your freezer, and when it came out, you could break the ice, have a nice disc that you could slide under somebody's.
You learned that. That's pretty easy. I think you should just know that. That should have been a learning thing.
Okay, well, I went to a state school, Pat. All right, not all of us played Connecticut at Norwich, Connecticut University.
You know, liquids freeze. What? Give me some more learning.
But here's where the game gets really fun because we learned you
can freeze a Frisbee. Shit outside of your pants. Like what? That's crazy. Thanks.
I mean, it just seems impractical at certain points, but you freeze the Frisbee, you slide it under the door, in an hour or two when the RA is back from class, there's now just a piss puddle in the center of his room, and he has no idea how it got there. But you're like, that seems like a lot of work, right? You know, what we quickly learned is if you take a Dixie cups, like one of those where you could get 100-pack, like they used to be for like kids brushing their teeth, you just pissed slightly in all of them. Then you could get a bunch of little piss discs and flick them under the door, and then he would have piss puddles throughout the room.
So you think that lady should have done this?
No, I think somebody's doing that to this lady. Probably an Irish person. Free the North. Yeah, she's a piece of shit.
How is she not? You can get soap anywhere. She could clean. I don't. Why is this news?
Because
she wasn't like high ranking. She's just some secretary for the fucking queen.
I don't know if you noticed this, Pat. The CIA's been popping off this morning. They were like, anything, please. We don't want to talk about death and destruction. Well, there's an old dying woman. Okay, let's talk about that instead.
By the way, here on May 14th, a staff member was contacted about this, and they said it's something we won't comment on.
It's all in her bloody head. The bitch wears diapers and pisses everywhere. She's never changing herself.
Oh, and then the last thing is, by the same day as this article came out, Hazel said she received a visit from her landlord to discuss beginning to fix the problems. Yeah, did you talk to your landlord more? What happens is, here's what happened. This bitch was like, I'm going to go to the news. And now I'm going to fucking make a big fucking deal. What?
It's actually Lord of the Lands in England.
They wrote landlord in this fucking piece of shit.
No, I was just making a joke. Because I'm the lord of the land.
I'm the landlord, lord of the land. So what happened here, obviously, is this bitch was complaining. The guy's like, I'll get to it. I've got a bunch of things to do. It's a shitty place, whatever. And she's like, do you know who I am? He's like, no, I don't. No one knows who you are. I work for the queen. He's like, we've all worked for the queen in some way. Who gives a fuck? Like, the queen's dead. We all yelled long live her. She lived. She died. Long dead, the queen. Who gives a fuck? He's like, if you don't fucking fix my place right now, I'm going to the news. He's like, all right. So it's in the news. He's like, God damn it. Now it's in the news. I was just watching POS Mornings and I just found out now that you can make a P fucking disc and fire it at people. First of all, I didn't know that. Me and Bobby both learned that. Thanks, landlord. But then also she's like, all right, I'll fix it now. But she just used the news to complain. What the fuck to her?
Yeah, and she doesn't deserve that. Like, certain celebrities deserve the ability to tweet at a company and get a response right away. Just because you worked for a lady that was literally the sign of white privilege doesn't mean you get to be in the news to get your shit fixed right away.
Yeah, like when Wesley Snipes was getting all crazy about taxes and they're all giving him shit. He's like, what the fuck? Like, you guys let me do whatever I want when I was famous and no one gave a shit. Everyone just let me run around and do it. But now that I'm not as famous, and you're just like, now we just want our money, Wesley Snipes. Now you're just putting me in jail for dumb shit. Like, fuck you. Like, this lady's kind of I guess he can complain. This lady isn't that. You know what I mean? And OJ was just like, hey, well, I don't know why you guys are mad. I was found innocent.
Yeah, that's
like,
your
suck.
justice
I was
system.
found innocent. Yeah, you guys are bad at this. What do you got?
Well, I just thought this story was funny because as of this morning, the International Criminal Court is seeking arrest warrants for Hamas leader Yah Yah Sinwar and Israeli Prime Minister.
Sinwar. That's their real name. Yah Yah Sinwar.
I mean, I'm probably mispronouncing it, but it's literally Yahya. So that's Yah Yah, right?
Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah.
It's the word sin and the word war with no space in between.
Yeah, I don't think you could do that any differently.
And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on charges of war crimes.
They have the best names. I know they're crazy murders, but they're the same names you would give Teletubbies.
Dude, it's enough to make you think you live in a simulation, right? Wait, the guy who committed a terror attack, his name's Sinwar, so he committed a sin to start a war? That seems a bit fucking on the nose. CIA.
Another guy who yells whenever he kills people, Yahoo! His name Yahoo!
Yeah, Netanyahu. So basically, the ICC wants to arrest these two people who are fighting each other. And who's the piece of shit? Is it the ICC for thinking that's going to make any difference at all? You know who else is on their arrest warrants, Pat?
Oh.
I know you're big on international relations. Oh, Vladimir Putin.
I'm huge on it.
Yeah. Vladimir Putin's on their list because and so like it definitely stopped him doing what he was doing in Ukraine. Oh no, wait, this war did that because we stopped caring. Anyway, so is it them for thinking they matter? Is it them for putting both sides on? It's kind of like if you and I get drunk and we agree to fight, no one should get in trouble for that as long as nobody dies. No. Right?
Yeah, as long as there's no death.
Yeah, like they put Putin on because he was committing a thing, but they put both of those guys on. Or is it the two leaders involved? Netanyahu and Yah Yah Sinwar.
Yeah, Sisterpants.
Just make out already, all right? Let's cut the sexual tension. One of you likes to blackmail people with pedophilia. The other one likes to worship a pedophile. At the end of the day, you're going to find some common lines there. You got more in common than you got apart. Just be friends. And then, Pat, I wanted to tag this with, that's the news story, but did you hear what the story that came out over Ramadan?
That is one of my favorite names ever, Keller.
True. I love that.
It's like it's their duck goose. Muchos. Gali! They run around.
It was pretty rare this year because both Passover fell during Ramadan, and I guess that doesn't happen often. Or do you know the rarity of that?
Breaking Jews.
Yeah. But they
just in Ramadan and Ding Dong, same time as other goofy shit.
it was like a Sunday thing. So like the one ended on a Sunday and the other started. So like the end of Ramadan and the beginning of Passover was the same Sunday. So because it's the Middle East, they don't like soccer. They decided to try to do that thing they did during World War One, where they all came out and played a cricket match. And you know what happened?
No.
Oh, they all died. They killed each other.
Oh,
Both sides set a trap for the other
no.
one. Yeah. So who's the piece of shit?
During the cricket match?
The cricket. Neither side came to play cricket. They just pretended like they were calling a ceasefire, and both sides showed up ready to fight. Turned into a real fire.
Oh, real sharks and jets situation.
Or, Muzzy Jew situation. The
Bobby,
original.
This is the second time you're fucking with people. Don't fuck with the Muslims.
They're the original sharks and jets. The Jews and the Muslims.
No.
Here's the piece of shit, Pat.
When it comes to this kind of shit, I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? I never know who's the piece of shit in these things. What they all are.
I think the piece of shit's
so
like that's like.
I guess the piece of shit would be. Good.
Were you talking? I just heard a voice talk.
No, I'm waiting for you to talk. Yeah. There's people that live here, so.
Oh, no. I thought you were playing something. My bad. I thought you were looking something up. No, I think the piece of shit's the court, because it's like you don't do anything. You can't have a court without an army that'll do something to back it up. The only way to enforce laws is force. It's all false, as the French say, which is ironic because the French never use force unless if it's sexually.
Oh, the French are involved?
No, I just was pointing out, like, you have to use them. The phrase enforce comes from the French in France. Like, enforce, which means to give force.
You know what the piece of shit is? The piece of shit is Matthew Perry's ghost for not going over there and talking to them. That's where he should go. He could finally go over there and go, Yah Yah, your name's Yah, and then do sarcastic things. You like that song? Yah, 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 Yah. And then, welcome to romance. And they're like, no. And he's like, I'm so funny. I'm one of the funniest people ever, Matthew Perry. And then he flies around and he goes to the other ones and he's like, Pucho, Pucho, Puchos, Puchos. They're like, all right, stop, Ghost Matthew Perry. He's like, look how funny I am. And then they would all get along to try to kill ghosts. They would come together and to fucking be like Ghostbusters and put the streams together. And it'd be Middle Eastern people trying to kill Matthew Perry's ghost. Now that's something I want to see.
Who you gonna call? The IDF and the terrorist special task force on ghosts.
And then Jerry Seinfeld dies and goes, what's the deal with Yah Yah Boutros Ghali, whatever your name is? Oh. Who do you think the
one more? Is? I said it's
Keller says anyone who prevented cricket.
It is kind of just like underhand baseball.
Yeah, but I think it was around before baseball, though.
Yeah, but it's just made by people with rickets.
Yeah, like same thing as stickball. Stickball's that too, but at least stickball didn't become a thing you'll play in a real arena.
Yeah, people are like, it's even more intense and better. I mean, who doesn't like a good India-Pakistan cricket match? But that's just more about the hatred than it is anything.
Well, anything with fucking brown people holding sticks is fucking intense. That's how they put up their tents. Intense.
No, it's not going to get better than that, folks. You got one more story, Pat?
I do. It's not, but don't worry, it's not going to get better than that.
I meant on that. I meant on the terrorist story.
No, I'm kidding. But that'd be the best lead to the last story. You can stop now. It's not going to work. Listen, it wouldn't be a POS Mornings show without us doing some WNBA Caitlinn Clark news, baby. New York thrilled with first in-person experience hosting Caitlinn Clark. It was less than an hour before the first game she would ever play in New York City. This one in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. And the young girls squealed for her to sign their number 22 jerseys, their posters, their magazines, their anything and everything. Caitlinn Clark, chewing gum and smiling, made her way down the row, stopping to sign as many items as she could, stressing out security guards as she did. They're like, please stop going through the crowds of people. Before retreating to the visiting locker room for a game against Liberty. On the court moments earlier, Hoda Kobe and Jenna Bush Hager of Today with Hoda and Jenna interviewed Clark and came away gushing about her. Even just to be in her general presence is amazing, Bush Hager told the Post. We were told this is going to be the most watched WNBA game ever in history. Caitlinn was lovely, but same with all of the players we met today. Really? I guess Brittany Griner wasn't there because her and Tarasi, go look up them. They're fighting everyone this year. Bobby, you called it, by the way. I don't know if you know this. The other teams are doing what you said. We need more fighting and stuff. Brittany realized that, oh my God, I used to be a convict. These women are scared now. So her Tarazi talks shit and Griner goes and punches them. It's crazy what they're doing. They're like the bad boys of Detroit.
I have never been more mad I couldn't find a Mercury jersey when I was in Phoenix because they are playing basketball the way it was meant to be played.
New York welcomed Caitlinn Clark with open arms, even as the enemy. You know what's interesting about Caitlinn Hoda began? She's focused, you feel it, but she has a sense of delight and the fun of the game. It shows in everything she does. She said she got off to a rocky start, but she's remembering, like, this is fun. And I think that's one of the most charming things about her. Added Jenna, by the way, that's what we want our girls to know, right? Like our kids to know that sports should be fun. The Caitlinn Clark effect. The Associated Press reported that the Liberty had over $2 million in ticket revenue for the game, a WNBA record. Dude, she's not even on that team. They broke a record of $2 million in ticket revenue, which is wild for them. The old numbers. It is fucking crazy. Clark encountered rabid Liberty fans waving white towels. This was, after all, the sold-out Liberty home opener. But a roar nevertheless went up when she was introduced with her Indiana Fever teammates, and the roar accompanied her made threes and layups. I thought the atmosphere was incredible, Clark said, after Liberty won by 11. I want to get to the part where like the Fevers aren't winning at all. They still were, and people are saying, "Oh, she sucks." They got her because they had the top pick because they're bad. Just because they got her, they still need to get other people around her. You can't do it all by yourself. So, yeah, it's going to be a growing process, but it doesn't matter because the amount of money they're making, she'll just go somewhere else soon. She'll be on the East Coast or West Coast very soon on a team that will get her more stuff going on. But there were definitely a lot of young girls here today that wanted to see a lot of fun, but the Liberty definitely deserves this crowd. They've been incredible over the course for the last few seasons, and they're going to be incredible this year. So it's fun to play here in New York for the first time and play in front of the environment. I think it just brings out the best in a competitor. Like, I love playing in front of these environments. Happy for New York to have this type of environment. I hope those fans continue to show up, and I know they will. On Celebrity Row, tennis legend Billie Jean King, basically known as Grandma Lesbian, was greeted with a standing ovation. Love. Yes. Was greeted with a standing ovation when they showed her on the scoreboard midway through the first quarter. South Carolina national champion coach Dawn Staley, who defeated Clark in Iowa in the final, received a rousing cheer in the second quarter. Same with Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe in the third quarter. By the way, that's not Celebrity Row. It's one famous tennis player and then a bunch of old college basketball people. That's really what it is.
Five Dykes walk into the Barclays Center. No, that's just the start to a joke. Five Dykes walk into a Barclays Center.
Nice. Clark found herself stranded on Clark Island. No Kate Martin, no Gabby Marshall, no Hannah Strokey, no Sydney Effler alongside her anymore. They're naming their old Iowa teammates. Only teammates who haven't learned how to play with her yet. Only teammates she's learning on the fly. All the while learning how to cut harder and playing with another something she needs to learn because of shit. She had 10 of her team's first 19 points, 15 at halftime. She even sprinted back to deflect the pass out of bounds following an errant pass. So she played well. She ran around. They're fired up. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Is it Caitlinn Clark? For now already becoming humble, becoming gracious. And I know everyone's saying, well, why would they make her a piece of shit? You gotta become that leader. We need some Caitlinn Clark. Like, of course, people here to see me. They would never come here to see your shitty New York team. They only come when I play here. Now you're waving towels. Now you're fired up. Eat that. And even when they lose, they're like, you're welcome. You know, even when your team gets a win because they actually cared about beating me. Because I'm bigger than other teams. But instead, she's like, isn't it wonderful that girls are here? Just that, whatever. Is it the swarms of people and fans and women and everybody going, this is a moment for women? I'm not trying to be a dick here. I'm really not. But it's not a moment for women. It's a moment for Caitlinn Clark. Fuck you for fucking being able to tag on to that shit. Fuck you. It's not all women. You could, yeah, could she inspire you? Sure. But she can also inspire me. It's not about women or men. It's about someone who's putting their head down and working super fucking hard and then becoming something big and great, even when people say you shouldn't. Listen, I'm a 49-year-old white guy who still wants to, like, quote unquote, make it in comedy and radio and things like that nature. People might say you're too old, this and that. She's a white girl from Iowa. They're like, you can be good, but you'll never be black girl good. And it's like, you know what? I will be black girl good. I can be Larry Bird. I will do this thing, and I can strive. That's not something for just a woman to go clutch onto. Is it Hoda and Bush? Fuck you. Fuck you, Hoda and Bush. No one gives a shit about that show with you stupid drunks on the show going there and telling us, wow, it's great. This lady's here. Really? Where were you when she was in college? You should have talked to her then. Well, young girls in school. Teach about education, not about if you fucking make it, people will love you and get autographs. Talk to people who didn't make it yet. That's who we want to learn from. The people that struggle, the people that work hard, not the ones that are already. They can't relate to me. Caitlinn Clark's buying private jets and flying around, signing autographs. No one knows who they are. No one. They're like, "Hello, lesbian. Are you 22?" And they had a thing in their ear. That's all it is. Or is it New York Liberty? Lay down. Let her win. What are you doing? Let this girl get under. You need her in the finals if you want someone to watch it, you stupid fucks. No one's gonna watch it when it's not her. Who's a piece of shit?
I can tell you who it's not. Sabrina Sadonikis or whatever her name is. She broke Caitlinn Clark. She broke Caitlinn Clark's ankle so badly. Oh my god! But she also did
some great players.
But she did it exactly the way it should have been done, and what you've been saying all along, Pat, which is you need Caitlinn Clark. The whole time she was like, "I'm so excited to see what Caitlinn's Clark. I can't wait to see what she's going to bring to the WNBA." And then she got her moment in the spotlight. You know what she did? She made her look silly. And that comes with a lot more emphasis when you've been nice the whole time. And I thought that was kind of cool. For me, the piece of shit in this story is the New York Liberty. Not because they lost or didn't lay down and let Sabrina win. It's because you and I know about this, but nobody else in New York did. And if any city needs a reason to cling on to some reason to be optimistic about basketball this morning, it's New York. Like, why is this not on the front page of the goddamn newspaper? Like, really give these girls the rub. Don't give them the fake rub where we put Hoda and Celebrity Rose, a soccer star that everybody fucking hates. Both sides. Like, the side she says she represents is like, please just shut the fuck up. You don't represent us. And the other side's like, you're a dumb bitch. Shut up. You ruined Sue Bird's career. You know, all that shit. Give them the real treatment. Put them on the front page of the Times. We shut down the new Michael Jordan of basketball. Like, really give them the shine. And that'll inspire the men, too. Like, what, you're going to get shown up by a bunch of bitches?
If you're going to put sports on the front page, it has to be the Knicks getting knocked out and their season being over in Game 7.
That's my. If what's more?
No, but if it was their home opener, but because it's their home opener, yeah, it's Caitlinn Clark. But I see, if it was Game 4 or just a regular season game with the Knicks in that, then yes, I say that. But because it was the final game and they're out of it now, you have to have them in the front. But I know what you're saying.
I guess my point was I was trying to give the Knicks a reason to win next year. Like, I'd start today by putting the Liberty on the front page and be like, New York's real basketball team until the men nut up and beat the Pacers.
Listen, I think the Knicks need to have Caitlinn Clark, so at least she doesn't get injured and is out. They had like 5 people left in their fucking team. But anyway, and the other front page was like your boy, Helicopter Jones fell down, and also Biden commencement speech. So I don't know if Caitlinn Clark's going to beat those 3 things. That's a good trifecta. But
to quote the late great Herb Brooks, Pat, last time I checked, your left hand's a hell of a long way from the heart.
It's not that far away from the heart.
That's as far as Callahan's leg was.
Fucking Callahan's leg. That sounds like an old Irish tale. And let me tell you about the curse of Callahan's leg.
It was.
I was eating potatoes and drinking Guinness for 14 years. And then one day my leg fell off and stood up and said, fucking eat a vegetable, you son of a bitch. I was like, all right, Callahan's leg. Relax.
OC was basically the Irish hero, Pat. He was on the team. He hurt his leg. At halftime of the Russia game, Herb Brooks went, hey, can he play on this? Will it make it worse? And the doctor was like, he'll be in a lot of pain, but it won't make it worse. He's like, all right, cool. Walks in the locker room, goes, hey, Irish drunk, you're a bitch. And the guy goes, I'm a bitch. I'll show you how much of a bitch I am. And then his one big claim to fame was he hit a big Russian dude and turned the whole game around. That's the Irish hero.
You love living in that game. That game is like your inspiration for fucking everything.
Is it my inspiration or is it the sign that my dad raised me through sports metaphors? because I know that movie so well. I once said my
my
brother
dad
gave
raised
up.
me through sports, but didn't raise me through hockey.
My
Olympic
dad never
hockey.
played hockey. My dad never watched hockey, but goddamn if he didn't love that movie.
Jesus. All right. Well, we don't care if you love hockey, but if you love us, hit like and subscribe. That'd be nice. We appreciate that a lot. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. To everybody that was there, good to see Jonathan Keller again. Good to see you, Stormy. Hello, Terry Nee. As always, you're wonderful. Tell Ernie Banks we said hi. All the fun people that were in there before. Brian Perkins, I was in before. A lot of fun folks today. Kish, of course, always. Bobby, you got anything else you want to promote and push? Oh, make sure you join us tomorrow morning on the Patreon. If you haven't signed up yet, POS Podcast on Patreon. So check that out for those $3 a month. You get over there. You can see tomorrow's morning show at 8 a.m. And then you'll get Thursday Thoughts this week. And you'll also get the replay of the POS evening show. But for those who can't do that, don't want to do the Patreon, come back here on Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. for the next POS Mornings. But Bobby, you got anything else you want to push?
We love you too, Jonathan. And go check in tomorrow. It's my birthday. And as Pat said, my birthday wish, head over to the Patreon.
And your birthday falls on Tard Tuesday, which is great.
Yeah, because it might be Pat and 2 tards I booked and forgot it was my birthday. So we'll talk about that.
Are they both really booked though?
One of them's really booked. The other one's not. The one that wasn't booked kind of is now. But anyway, we'll talk off air.
Either way, we'll have fun. So cool. They can't do mornings. Yeah, Tards don't do mornings, right?
The one can't. Maybe the other one I could convince to do the morning. That might be possible.
Yeah, see what they can do. Yeah, but I don't want. Yeah, you know what? That's fine on the Patreon. Either way, we'll talk. But all right, everyone. Thank you much for watching. Like, subscribe, share the thing. We also want you sharing and stuff. And then Bobby, words of wisdom.
Yeah, don't forget Isaiah 8:14. The stone the builders have rejected will become the cornerstone.
Isaiah 8:14, and boy was he full.